Guys, I think I'm getting old. I know I end up mentioning it in every video I post and say dumb stuff like, the year is 1998. It's like going to the arcade and you play a claw machine, right? You put your tokens in, or well, no, I guess that's not really a thing anymore. This is her now. Feel old yet? Man, the good old days are gone. But for real, I feel it. Not just in the constant body aches and the never-ending back pain, no. I feel it in video games. More specifically in my ability to become immersed in video games. Maybe I'm alone in this, but it feels like gone are the days where I could just tune out the rest of the world and transport myself into Hyrule or Tamriel or wherever. It didn't used to just be me watching Link fight chompy plants. I used to be the one fighting the chompy plants. It felt like I was there, not like I was just watching a movie. I can still be immersed in games, but certainly not as easily as I used to. I bring up getting old because I assume it's just age-related. That fancy little prefrontal cortex you have, it's finished developing generally around the time you turn 25, and after that, it's all downhill. You're done. You're a fully developed human. But I don't know, man, you would think the opposite would be true with video games, right? Like, they're prettier than ever, but I don't know, that's got me thinking. Do graphics actually matter when it comes to your immersion? Like, honestly, does it make any modicum of a difference as far as your immersion goes if your game looks like this, or if it looks like this? Alright, so what is immersion actually? The definition says a state of being completely engrossed or absorbed in something. Now, until we hit the far-off year of 2022 and full dive VR is invented, we don't have a method of being actually physically immersed in a game, so until we reach that level, the phenomenon that I'm talking about is completely mental. And you know, not the British colloquialism like, oh, it's fucking mental, bruv. I mean, it's happening in your mind. You sit down to play a game and you get so into the world, environment, or shit, even just gameplay, that you're no longer sitting in your chair ripping farts and sucking down liquid deaths while playing a game. You're there in the game. There have been studies done on this exact topic, and one that I read through from Breda University of Applied Sciences found there to be 4 different types of video game immersion. System, spatial, emphatic/social, and narrative/sequential immersions. I'm gonna break these down for you. System immersion is that kind where you're just completely locked into the gameplay mechanics. You know, like when you start to really flow with it, and the passage of time becomes a suggestion. Prime example, if I sit down to play a few rounds of Balatro, and I tell myself, alright, it's like 9 o'clock now, I want to be in bed by at least 10:30, one of two things is going to happen. I'm either going to sit down and play a few rounds, have a really solid run, notice it's like 10:25 and I'm going to call it a night, or I'm going to sit down to play a few rounds, have like 6 shitty runs in a row, finally get a solid one, play it out, then realize that it's 12:45 a.m. and I have to be at work in 7 hours. There you go, that's systems immersion. With Balatro, I wasn't there engrossed in some beautifully rendered environment because there's nowhere to be. The whole last game is just cards floating in space while that banger soundtrack sucks you in and mystifies you. I swear to God, dude, it's just modern day Polybius. When I was playing these rounds, Men in Black fucking scanned my brain for some MK Ultra bullshit or something. I don't know, or maybe not, but I wouldn't know because I was too sucked into it to notice what was going on around me. Spatial immersion would be that isekai-ass, my life as the chosen hero of Hyrule, but I have my smartphone type of shit. That's the kind where you're transported to another realm to live out your fucking Kirito power fantasies. The study mentions that the visual quality of a game is likely to be an important factor for this type of immersion, but it's not necessary. Players can become just as engrossed in 2D environments and lower quality or older 3D games. Think back to my experiences and the games that have sucked me in the hardest.
Phrasing?
The first ones that come to mind would definitely be Wind Waker, BioShock, and take your pick. Insert a 360 era Bethesda game here, but most notably probably Oblivion. That first playthrough of Oblivion was something else, man. Like, I was like 17, freshly out of high school, I had just lost my job rolling burritos, and I was in that strange in-between period where adulthood was starting and my childhood was ending. And I can, without a shadow of a doubt, say that I have never been more immersed in a game in my life. Like, Countless nights were spent exploring Cyrodiil as the hero of Kavach, and man, there were multiple gaming sessions with Oblivion where I would look outside and see the sun rising and realize, ah shit, I skipped sleep for this day. But it's a prime example of graphics not mattering at all. I played through the Oblivion remaster the day it dropped, and hey, don't get me wrong, I was hooked again. Like, it's one of my only perfect games on Steam. Like, I was real into it again. But I never got that same level of immersion. It's the same game, just way prettier, yet I found myself far more engrossed in this than I did with this. Powering through these next two, we've got emphatic/social immersion. This kinda has two branches, the one where you get super invested into the interactions happening between you and the NPCs, or where you get hella into your interactions with other real people playing the game. The latter doesn't really affect me that hard, unfortunately. I'm kind of a hardcore introvert, so playing MMOs is tough for me unless I'm with people that I already know. I can't hop into a game and just be like, oh, well, hi everybody, I want to make new friends. Because of this, I end up soloing most MMOs that I play, which is less than ideal, but it also makes some games like Starlight Revolver an immediate no for me. You know, that and it's horribly balanced, not ideal for a single player at all, just kind of shit show that really deserves its own video, but you know, it's literally a large factor in why I started this YouTube channel in the first place. This is a platform for me to practice public speaking because I'm absolute dog shit at it. But there's plenty of people that thrive in those kinds of environments. Last up, we've got narrative/sequential immersion. This would be the player being invested in seeing the next story beat. It's like being enveloped while watching a movie or TV show. You know, you're sitting there chomping down on popcorn and you're on the edge of your seat because the pacing is so superb and you can't wait to see what happens next. Like, you know, there you go. You're invested in watching a sequence of events play out. Gaming is a little different though, because you are in charge of the pacing, at least to some extent. A prime example would be the Final Fantasy VII remakes. And guys, I love Final Fantasy VII. The remakes are so cool, and I've probably never been more excited for a trilogy of games in my life. I'm a realist. They ain't perfect. Part 1 was pretty dope through and through. Like, I was hella invested in the story, the characters, the environments, and the mechanics. I would actually go out on a limb and say that it ticked all 4 of these types of immersion for me. Part 2, however, It's not a bad game, it's gorgeous, and revisiting these locations from my childhood with fucking RTX on is jaw-dropping. But the fucking pacing is so bad. It pulls me out of the immersion so much every time I get to a new location in the game. Like, I grew up playing RPGs. They were, and still are, my favorite genre of games. That means I know from my past experiences, like, you can't skip side content. You want the best equipment? It's probably going to be locked behind a side quest. You want those obscure story beats that drive the emphatic immersion, making you fall in love with the characters? Well, it's going to be side stuff not related to the main story. Does the game have multiple endings or different story beats based on what you've done? It's probably going to be achieved through optional content. So, as with any Final Fantasy game, I gotta do them all. But in Rebirth, it's not side quests, it's dumb, time-wasting, brain-dead bullshit. The story is so good, the cutscenes are incredible, and I can't wait to see the next one. But because I need to do everything in a new area first, I'm not gonna see the next one for a while. Nope, first you gotta scan a bunch of rocks, then you gotta climb a bunch of towers, fight some monsters, you gotta scan the other rocks that allow you to fight a new summon that you might not use, but you gotta have it. And then you gotta play the card game against everyone in the world, which it's admittedly kind of fun, but then you gotta do the Chadley proto-relic quests, and oh yeah, then you have to go like sniff around and dig shit up with your chocobo. And then there's a few actual side quests that you can do that have story. Alright, now you can continue the story. It just took 4 hours of running around this new map doing busy work before you could. It pulls you out of the game so hard having to do all of this bullshit every time you get to a new area. Like, it literally fatigues me. I should be excited about entering a new area, not dreading the side stuff that comes with it. I've put this game down and picked it back up like 3 times since buying it, and I still haven't finished it. That sucks for a game that I was insanely excited about. But I'm the one to blame here. I'm in control of the pacing. I could just ignore the side stuff and move on, but then I feel like I'm missing out on like half the game. It's unfortunate. Like, I can't immerse myself in this phenomenal world because the contents of the world are boring. Everything is boring busy work until you hit the next story beat. But that leads me to the entire point of the video. New games keep coming out that push the bar further and further. Every console generation, I personally have thought, wow, man, graphics are never going to look better than this. You know, it's laughable now than I thought that when I first saw this, but now we see stuff like this. I don't know, man. I don't know how much better looking we can possibly get. You reference this in 15 years, we'll circle back. Yet, even with how pretty games are now, I find myself less immersed in most modern games than I do when I revisit old games. I can still lock into this all day long. If I have a sick day and I stay home from work, I can lay in bed and melt away into this and forget about my symptoms for a while. I can't do that with this. So why? Is it because I'm getting old, or is it because modern gaming has missed the mark somewhere? In that hunt for cutting-edge graphics, did something get lost along the way, making those 4 types of immersion just not hit the same? You know, you hear the word soulless get thrown around a lot when people are describing games, and that might just be the key. There are still plenty of newer games I can lock into, I'm not saying all games are bad. Yakuza Like a Dragon had me hooked for a month straight, and I can't wait to start Infinite Wealth the next time I'm in a gaming lull. Final Fantasy XVI blew me away, and now it's absolutely my favorite entry in the series. I couldn't put it down until I finished it, and I'm looking forward to playing it again, which is odd for me. I usually don't like to replay long games like that. But that's not the case with most games anymore, is it? Those are few and far between examples when you compare all the others that have come out and that I've played in between them. Yet the games of old, the ones that set the standard that modern gaming still follows, can pull me in. Chrono Trigger can always lock me in with its beautiful soundtrack, engaging story, and top-tier pixel art. The original Final Fantasy VII still puts me in the shoes of this emo kid ex-soldier. Symphony of the Night teleports me to Dracula's castle and makes me be like, I'm interested in this. But most newer games, they don't work anymore. They don't suck me in unless they are small indie games with heart and soul poured into them. The mechanics have to be ironed out. The environments have to make sense and not be a chore to explore. The characters have to be likable and the story has to be on point. These 4 pillars create a sense of immersion, not more polygons. My RTX has failed me. It makes games prettier, but it doesn't bring immersion. So I'm stuck in the past, replaying old games constantly just so I can feel. So I don't know. Is it an issue with me getting old and is my creative mind and imagination burning out? Or is it an issue with the video game industry as a whole? Has the industry missed something that used to be there in video games? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and hey, see you in the next one.